Hey there, Scorpio, and welcome to your November 2019 Creativity Tarot reading. My name is Kayleigh Jean, and welcome to my channel. Happy birthday, Scorpio. I know that those of you Scorpio suns are probably feeling fully lit right now with your birthday season, and even if you have powerful placements in Scorpio like your moon or your ascendant or some stelliums, I'm sure you're feeling this energy as well. While I was connecting to you, I just was getting a couple of things. So first of all, I heard the word inspiration, and I was seeing almost like a pathway that kind of diverts off of another trail that's more well trodden. I was seeing kind of a path like veering off to the side. So some of you may be taking stock of where you're at creatively and professionally at this time in your life, and you may be really realizing that there's some kind of new creative enterprise that you want to pursue, or that there's a dream or a goal that you now feel ready to actually take action on. It may, because you do have Mercury Retrograde in your sign during the month of November, it could be something that requires some private creative time for you. It may not be something that you are immediately sort of broadcasting and talking about, but nonetheless, it represents you kind of taking steps down a different path. And if that's the case, Scorpio, I'm getting a huge yes on that. I'm getting this sense that whatever this inspiration is, if it's close to what you normally do or it's very different to what you normally do in your career, I feel like this is something that is very important for you right now. And I feel like it's also really close to who you were kind of growing up. There's some kind of connection here with the inner child coming through, and there's some kind of fulfillment of your like soul self's desires. There's some kind of fulfillment of something that is so true to you, Scorpio. You can feel it just inside of you, everywhere. You can feel that it's absolutely authentic to your path, whatever this thing is. So I would encourage you to definitely put some effort into any new creative ideas or passions that you have coming through for you at this time of the year. I think you're going to find that if there's any resources that you need or anything that you're lacking in order to make this idea into a reality or make this dream into a reality, those resources are going to be presented to you synchronistically right at the moment when it's perfect for you to get them. Like, there's a sense that this is a path that will gradually emerge and unfold and be revealed to you as long as you keep taking steps down it. So I hope that makes sense. It's like, yes, keep pursuing this. Keep putting it out there if this is something that you want to do or work on, but maybe you lack a skill in something. There's going to be an opportunity for you to master that skill. Maybe you'll get a free scholarship into a course that will help you learn that skill. For example, like formatting a manuscript for, an e-publish or for a self-publishing platform. You could learn how to do that just for free or for very inexpensive and in a much easier way than you thought. Or if you are a musician, you could connect with somebody who has a studio for you to record in. There could just be little things that when you look back on it, you're kind of just in awe of how exactly what you need was there for you at the precise moment that you needed it. And the message is to really trust that and to know that this is the process of you engaging with the universe. Like, this is the process of you creating and co-creating with the universe. So it's very exciting. I don't know if for some of you this involves teaching, because I was seeing someone kind of on a platform, and they weren't on like a super high platform. It was just like one step, and then they were kind of turning towards a couple of other people, and they were handing them like tools, but then they were turning around and they were like showing the tools to other people. So I don't know if this is just a very, very specific message for someone out there, or if it's sort of like a euphemism for this idea of taking knowledge that you already have and then partnering up with the resources of some helpful people around you, and then bringing your knowledge and your skills to like more people. There could be a teaching element for some of you, but whatever this is, I feel like it's a very inspired time, and it's a time in which you're really being encouraged to use this tide. Essentially, you have a tide that is working in your favor this month, so roll with it. We do have a Mercury retrograde in your sign this month, which is definitely significant for Scorpios. But the good thing about this Mercury retrograde is that Mercury's not making any hard aspects throughout the month of November, and especially while he's retrograde. So you're going to have this sense of, yes, it's a Mercury retrograde, and yes, it's in Scorpio, which is a very deep and powerful, reflective, psychic, internally focused sign. So you could feel very internal or very deep in your thought processes. You could feel like you're really reviewing and going over and over things and making sure that everything is very detail oriented and sort of just the way that you want it to be. That might be kind of how you naturally show up as a creative person, and I would encourage you to engage with that and to allow that, because that will probably be the most productive way for you to work with the energy of November, is just pursuing the work that you want to be doing, and at the same time, allowing yourself to go really deep with it, because you're not going to get those hard aspects that sometimes make Mercury retrogrades more significantly frustrating. So I think that this will be actually a really nice Mercury retrograde for you guys. I feel in particular you're going to be going really deep, and it's going to help a lot with research and editing, and that type of way of spending your time is going to be very productive. Okay, let's take a look at your cards. Scorpio. Ooh, they're like, stop. Scorpio, Scorpio, Scorpio. Okay, I was seeing a little burst of fire just now, so I'm not sure if you're going to get some wands or if this is just a symbol of, creativity and kind of that inspiration energy that we're getting. Scorpio, Scorpio, Scorpio. Okay, I was also getting this voice just now that was sort of making me feel like you could be being a little hard on yourself, like questioning what you have to offer, because you feel like you're kind of criticizing it because it might not be different enough from what else is out there. But the message that was just coming through on that is that don't worry about that. As long as whatever you're doing is authentic and it's coming from a genuine place, you don't compare it to what anybody else is doing, right? Because if it strikes a chord with you, if it's authentic for you, then it's going to ring true for others as well. So we have elephant. There's that little spark of fire I was seeing. There's like exactly like what I was seeing in my mind's eye, was just like a little spark of fire. So again, more influences in this reading that are showing you that you are on a successful path, Scorpio. This is your path. This is the dream. This is the dream. We have the elephant, which is your path card. So the elephant is a symbol of good luck. When it comes up in your reading, especially as your path card, it shows you that you are on track for something big. It often is like a symbol. The elephant is used as a symbol that will attract prosperity into homes in many places in the world. So having like an image of an elephant or a statue of an elephant is something that is thought and felt to bring positive energy into your space and to attract good abundance and prosperity into like your business, for example. So if that part of life is significant for you, I feel like, this is confirmation that you are right on track. The interesting thing to me that's standing out is actually that this elephant has one of his tusks is broken and the other one is kind of intact. So this is an elephant that has seen some battles, you know, and I think most Scorpios, especially people with intense placements like the moon, the sun, the ascendant, stelliums, any other planets you have in Scorpio, when you have Scorpio in an intense place in your chart and you have some powerful placements there, usually you are not the type of person that would say, oh yeah, I had the perfect childhood, you know, or I've never struggled. You know, usually Scorpios are pretty aware of their trials and their tests and the way that life has caused them to become stronger, really. And the practice of looking at our wounds as something that gives us strength and that gives us passion to help heal others and gives us the motivation to do difficult work in the world, that's a very scorpionic trait in my view. It's like the concept of the wounded healer. The wounded healer is a very positive archetype in my opinion because it's someone who has gone through struggles, someone who has been rejected or been abused or been in a hard situation where they didn't know how to get out of it, and they like kind of fought to stay in it. They fought to protect their own kind of spiritual integrity, their own emotional well-being, and they get through that. And there could even be, you know, aspects of this that are completely internal, like for example, having struggled with addiction in the past and working through that, and then helping people in the present, in your present life with addiction, or, you know, with surviving like abuse for some reason is coming through like really strongly with this for me. That's not something I ever say with this card, so it does feel like an important message for someone, but this is a concept that is totally raw and authentic, that brings forward the best of what you have experienced in your life, Scorpio. It brings forward not only your strengths and the things that are shiny about you, but also like the things that have been the greatest struggles and challenges, and sort of merges all of those things. So it's a really powerful time because you can create something that will be of great value, because the elephant is representing paths of great value. So your path this month is of great value to you and others. The crow is what's crossing you. So this is where we get that sense of synchronicity coming in, because the crow in this deck is really about the higher mind. And it's about having the ability to kind of sense and intuit things before they happen, and also having a deep ability to remember the past. Odin had a crow on, the god Odin had a crow with him, and the crow symbolized his memory. It symbolized kind of like the ability to see and to recall everything around him and everything that had ever happened and everything that ever would happen. So when you have that kind of inner sight, you are empowered in, you know, a divine way. You're able to use the information that you get through spiritual means or through symbolic means or through dreams, for example. You're able to use that information in very practical ways to create tangible changes in your life based on like spiritual information that's coming through. So that's really the key for me when I see these cards, is like the elephant is about the material changes. And I don't just mean financial, but I mean literally being able to step in and make a difference in some way in your world. That's coming from your connection to your higher self this month. So there's a sense of, you know, you could have like really strong memory as well, like, or memories of people from your past coming through this month. You might listen to a song or see a photo or, you know, smell like a certain scent, and it just brings you back so powerfully to an earlier time in your life. And all of these things are going to be telling you something. So I really love this reading. Let's go ahead and take a look at your tarot cards. So there's that burst of fire too, what I was seeing with the Ace of Wands. That is so funny. You guys, I just absolutely love readings. Like, what the hell? This is so spooky. Okay, so we have Ace of Wands, the Magician, Five of Cups, and the Moon. we've got the Lovers, Six of Pentacles, Princess of Swords, and Two of Wands. Interesting. Okay. So Ace of Wands and the Magician in the beginning of the month. Then we have Five of Cups and the Moon with that full moon in Taurus right around the middle of the month. So that's definitely speaking to that energy. There's a lot in this reading. So one thing that I am getting right off the bat for you, Scorpio, is a confirmation of that message of inspiration that came forward in the meditation. Because the Ace of Wands, I consider the Wands to be the suit of creativity and of kind of like the projects and the things that we put energy into in our lives. The Ace represents a new start or a fresh start in that area. So we have this new concept or this new idea, this new inspiration coming through, and we have you, Scorpio. We have you as the Magician, the one who is able to channel that divine spark. This is yours, Scorpio. Whatever this is that you are working to accomplish in your life, it's yours. This is meant to come through you. So rest assured of that. This is an opportunity for you to step into your role as a channel. And I don't just mean literally channeling as an oracle, although for some of you that is going to be part of your journey. But I also just mean like as a channel for your divine self. And the way that you find that and the way that you connect with that is through what you love. It's simple. It's about following your bliss. And I see you having the tools that you need, having the energy that you need, having the motivation that you need in order to do that in the beginning of the month. So pursue that. I also get a feeling of confidence with these cards, interestingly. So for some reason, I want to say that I feel like some of you could be changing something about your appearance as we go into November. Like maybe you're cutting your hair, or maybe you're getting rid of a bunch of old clothes and reshaping your wardrobe. But there's something about feeling fresh-faced to sort of face the world. There's a sense of like a renewal of your identity, a renewal of who you present yourself to be that feels very empowering and just confidence boosting. So if that's something that you're considering too, like that could be in your cards as well, as doing something, with your appearance, maybe changing things up, and it feels really good. As we go deeper into the month, we have the full moon in Taurus with the moon and the Five of Cups. This is interesting because what I get from this actually isn't just because sometimes the Five of Cups can mean that there are just like it can sometimes be associated with lower emotions and feeling a little bit down. But I actually, in this context, because we have the full moon in Taurus on the 12th, which is in your 7th house, so it's opposing your sun, I feel like there could just be a lot of emotion. And it doesn't necessarily mean that it's bad emotion, but I want you to be mindful of like what you're doing to take care of yourself leading up to that full moon on the 12th, because I actually feel like this full moon is going to be really nice. I mean, the sun is in trine to Neptune and the moon is in trine to Pluto and Saturn. So it's a really peaceful energy. Like if there's going to be contacts to outer planets like that, you want it to be trines, you want it to be, earth and water, it just feels like it's a very feminine, very beautiful moon that doesn't have a lot of negativity to it. It just feels like it could be very inspirational, I guess, which makes sense because you got the word inspiration coming through in your meditation. So you could feel just a lot. Like you might be crying, for example, and laughing at the same time, like around that full moon. And so you're not upset. It's not like anything happened. It's just you are needing to kind of find a way to expel that emotional energy because there's just a lot of it. There's just a lot of water going on for you, Scorpio. So just watch how you're taking care of yourself leading up to that day, because I think that the only way that this could potentially be like challenging for you would be if you have been ignoring something significant about your self-care. Like if you're getting to that point of the full moon, and for the first 2 weeks of November, you've basically just been burning the candle at both ends and just trying to run around and do everything for everyone else, then I think this Five of Cups energy could erupt a little bit in like a sense of rebellion within you. Like I get this person, they're kind of like their back is turned, they're looking at the water. It seems like they just ran away from like their problem, or they're kind of almost like a pouty, like they're pouting because they're just like, oh, I'm just overwhelmed. I just need to get like away from what is going on around me. That if you feel yourself that way, Scorpio, at that time, at that full moon, that's your key to kind of let you know that you need to make your life easier for yourself in some way. And there's always little ways and big ways that you can change the tempo and the tone of your life. For example, if you're overwhelmed, but you have to, there's certain things that you have to keep doing, like you have to keep running your business or you have to keep showing up for work. Yes, but are you listening to things that stress you out on your way to work? Or are you getting a little bit of time for meditation at the end of the night or first thing in the morning? Like, are you listening to things or watching TV right up to the point where you fall asleep? There's little changes that you can make that will create more of an ambiance of care for yourself. And I also feel like some of this could be related to the idea of like how you spend your relaxation time and how you spend your leisure time. Because if you often find that your leisure time is spent kind of taking care of errands or taking care of other people, or you kind of don't necessarily plan to do anything, and then it just, you don't, before you know it, the time is gone because you've been scrolling on social media or something along those lines. The question I think for you around that full moon is going to be like, how can I make my life feel more nourishing in small ways and big ways? How can I like create the environment and the lifestyle of my life to be more relaxing and just almost like forcibly relaxing, like forcibly kind of rejuvenating, because that's something that I've found too with self-care, for example, is if I make taking care of myself really easy to do, like if I have my little self-care stuff that's out, or if I make it something where my phone alerts me when I'm supposed to do something, if I just do little things where I can visually see what I need to do to take care of myself, to give myself joy, then it's easier. It's easier to kind of manage that. But if I'm constantly having to remind myself to do it, then it doesn't happen so easily, because it starts to feel like one more thing that I have to do. So I feel like you just need to have more joy in your life. If at that time you're feeling kind of rebellious and frustrated, that's your key. Other than that, if that's not how you feel, Scorpio, if you are kind of taking care of yourself emotionally and spiritually up to that point, you could have an amazing experience at that full moon. You could be incredibly inspired. You could have a bunch of ideas. You could have an amazing brainstorming session. You could be out in nature somewhere enjoying, the environment and having some kind of transcendent experience in that sense as well. So I do really love this moon. I feel like it is going to be really nice at the Taurus moon. So just take care of yourself leading up to it, so that if there is a lot of energy, you can use it in constructive, helpful ways. As we go deeper into the month, we have Six of Pentacles and the Lovers. So I do see something here for you, Scorpio, about joining forces or entering into some kind of a... It's like a merging. There's a merging of energies going on in the third week of November, and that may or may not be like what you want, Scorpio. So just go into that third week very cognizant of what is in your best interest, because when we see the Lovers, it can represent not only just romantic partnerships, but business partnerships and other types of life partnerships as well. Anything contractually binding sometimes even can be involved with the Lover's card. And when we see the Six of Pentacles, this is a card of give and take. This person's giving, these people are taking, but we don't know what else is going on in that environment. They could have some other kind of reasoning going on for why they are exchanging, money or exchanging energy in the way that they are. So overall, I feel like what's going on in that third week of November is potentially an opportunity for you to partner with someone or to leave like a contract and then enter into a new contract. And that could have to do with your living situation, Scorpio. It could be a work contract if you are, for example, like somebody that works on a contractually binding basis. If you're like a freelancer or something along those lines, your contract with a particular company could be coming to a close, and you could either have the opportunity to like renew it or to enter into contract with someone else. So there's definitely a sense of kind of like a rollover or a change when it comes to, mostly I'm feeling this honestly in your financial life or in terms of your practical life, because as well around this time in the third week of November on the 22nd, actually we have the sun moving into Sagittarius, which is symbolically speaking your second house. And your second house has to do with your finances, movable wealth, things like that, things that you can earn or that you can give, that you can spend. It's your resources, basically. So there's definitely the potential of new resources coming in, but it may require you to make some kind of a commitment and make sure that the price is right. Because if you just agree to something too quickly, you might find yourself wondering afterwards, like, was it worth it to kind of get in bed with that investor? And I'm speaking metaphorically here, absolutely metaphorically. But I feel like when I'm looking at this, it's like, be really clear on the agreements that you make, because whoever you are getting involved with, you might feel a little bit like you're getting into bed with them. And do you know if they have any skeletons in their closet? Do you know if they are trustworthy? If it's an investor, for example, are they really trustworthy? Are they going to make decisions that affect your company in ways that you're not anticipating? One thing you can do, which I have done in the past, which has proved really helpful, is whenever anybody approaches you for a business deal, wanting to invest something in your company or wanting to collaborate with you on a new project, they have like some idea that they want you to be engaged in, is see if you can figure out who that person has worked with in the past and actually call that person and see what their experience was like. I mean, it sounds really involved to do something like that, but I've actually found this happened to me once, where someone had an idea that they wanted me to potentially like engage with, and it was on their website, their company, they wanted to create something related to astrology and tarot. And I just felt, this was like a year and a half ago or more, and I just wasn't sure if it was right. And so I found out other people that this company, and specifically the head of that company, had worked with. And I literally called one of those people and we had a phone conversation, and I got the information that I needed. And obviously I didn't decide to go forward with it because I had more of the information. I had the gut instinct initially as well that this sounds like a great opportunity, but am I going to really enjoy working with this person? You never know. The truth is, you never know until you get into the contract with them, and once you're actually at that point, sometimes it's too late. So just do your due diligence, and you will really be able to protect yourself from any kind of less than equal exchanges or partnerships. So just, that's very specific for someone out there, but that is literally what I'm seeing, is that, you want to just be careful what you agree to, and make sure that as well, if you are agreeing to anything contractual, or if you are taking on something where finances are going to be exchanged, just be sure that the price is right and that it makes sense for your company, especially if you have a small company, or if you are an employee, for example, somewhere, and you're thinking about jumping ship and going somewhere else. You need to make sure that you're going to be covered in terms of all of your needs, not just financial, but just everything else. Like everything has to be aligned in order for you to make this decision in the most prosperous way for you. And I don't just mean prosperous when it comes to money, but whenever you're making new life choices, you want to consider the whole picture of including your happiness and your well-being and the hours, your time, you know, the hours that you're going to be working and all of that. So just keep those things in mind, but you know, it could be a great opportunity for some of you, but it is a general reading, so I don't want to say yes or no because every situation is going to be different. But do your due diligence, do your homework, and you should be fine, Scorpio. Okay, so the last part of the month, we have Two of Wands and Princess of Swords. So as we go into Sagittarius season at the end of November, you know, after the sun gets solidly into Sag, for you, we have the Two of Wands and the Princess of Swords. This is definitely a shift in energy. You started the month on the Ace, and you end the month on the Two of Wands and the Princess of Swords. So here I'm actually seeing the Two of Wands as, you know, he's kind of hanging on to both wands. So it represents, for one, balancing this new idea, this first wand, the Ace of Wands that you go into the month with whichever other wand is the most important to you. So some of you could be splitting your energies between creative projects by the end of November. You could have your main work that you do, your main company you work for, and then your side business. Or you could have your full-time business that you run and this other idea, or the publication of this, or the launch of something else that is sort of separate. So you're going to be balancing a lot. But I feel like with the Princess of Swords and the Two of Wands as well, the word that comes through is strategy. You want to really think things through at the end of the month and have a clear idea of what your main objectives are with any particular action, whether it's a charitable thing, like making a contribution in some way to you know, society at large through your business, or it's something, you know, that you have to do for your family, like executing a move or executing a big shift when it comes to your personal life. You want to really think things through and have a handle on like the entire situation, at least from your mindset. Go into this with a really good mindset, expect good things, and lay out a plan step by step of what you have to get done. Make lists. Lists are going to be your friend at the end of the month because I see you being very methodical. I see you being very organized. I see you really thinking like ahead, thinking to the future, and then kind of reverse engineering everything that you have to do to get to that ideal future point. So as you go into December, the energy is very active for you, Scorpio. Like you're full on as you go into December, which is exciting. It means that good things are happening for you. It means that as you opened that door on the initial inspiration earlier in the month, or maybe even in October, it shows that that is taking on a life of its own. And so everything else in your life has to adapt a little bit in order for you to stay in balance. So, but lots of success. I feel like with the Princess of Swords as well, it's like you just know what you're doing. You just know what's up with this card. I feel like you're learning new things and you're trying new things, but at the same time, you're being very objective, you're being very strategic, you're thinking ahead, and you're going to be executing your plans. And I feel like things are going to be going off really well. This is kind of like your birthday gift from the universe, but you have to work for it, just like everything else in the universe. You have to work for it, but it'll be there for you. So happy birthday. Okay, let's take a look at your card. So we have Allow as your oracle guidance from the Soul Trees Oracle deck. And when I look at everything else that we have here in this reading, this makes so much sense. So it's like the crow and the elephant showing that higher spiritual calling on your path and the prosperity on all levels that comes when you're really listening to your inner voice and your higher self. The Allow card is kind of saying, like, the map is already within you. The map of like the most successful and joyful and energizing way for you to go through this journey, that map is already within you, Scorpio. So allow what is already within you to unfold. Surrendered action this month. This is action, but it's action that is taken in full surrender to self, like in full surrender to your divine connection and your inspiration, following your bliss. And I feel like this is going to be a really beautiful time for you, Scorpio. So just allow, be easy about it. There's so much going on, there's so much going on for you, but just allow it. And when you find that people are coming to you wanting to, maybe even kind of support what you're doing, or when you find that people are coming to you with ideas about like your path, just allow everybody to have their own view or their own projection, but you stay in your route. You stay in your place, because that's where the greatness is, really, for each one of us, is within. So you have to be rooted to that greatness, and then you'll be able to continue to expand and express everything that's coming forward right now. So I hope this reading has been helpful to you, Scorpio. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for liking, sharing, and subscribing. All of those things really do help me, and they really help to support my channel. If you're still with me, Scorpio, why don't you please go ahead and leave me a little Scorpio emoji down below, or a little scorpion, or like a heart or something, some combination of those, because I know some people have different emojis, but leave me a little emoji below. I'm really curious how many of you are still with me. And if you, of course, want to share a little bit about how this reading may have connected or touched a nerve for you, I would absolutely love to hear from you in the comments. I really feel so blessed to have connected with you guys. Team Scorpio is fucking awesome, I have to say. Every single month, Scorpios are, like, they show up. Like, you guys are, like, seriously my ride or dies. And it makes sense because I have so much in Scorpio in my chart, but you guys just really show up, and you're engaging, and you watch the videos, and you're just awesome. I just love you guys. So thank you for being here. Please like and subscribe to support my channel. If you'd like to donate to support the effort that I put into these readings, please go ahead below. There will be a link where you can donate any amount. Even $1 is fantastic, because next month I will be doing the full 2020 year ahead forecasts, which are very time intensive for me. And I'll be putting them up for free for you guys. So if you get something useful out of these readings and you want to just say thank you and support the time and effort that I put in here, I will put the information on how to do that below. I hope you have an amazing month in November, Scorpio. If you'd like to book a personal reading, that'll be below as well. Take care of yourself, and I will talk to you next time. Mwah. Bye.